Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sad to tell you, but the Modern Warfare 3 beta is now over. And I must say, I'm not going to do a full review on it, but from what I experienced, most people I talked to had a lot of fun with this beta. They enjoyed it, they liked the maps, they liked the way the weapons feel. There's, of course, problems here or there, but that's not what I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to talk about 10 things that you probably missed while playing the beta. You were probably grinding weapons, leveling up, going through the motions, but there are some things hidden within the game that I wanted to show you. Some of them are simply Easter eggs, things that you can find on the map, so on and so forth, whereas others are certain gameplay interactions and things that you probably didn't know how they worked, so I wanted to tell you about them so when the game finally comes out, you can give it a shot, get your hands on it, and try it for yourself. So essentially, these are 10 things you missed within the Modern Warfare 3 beta. The first of which I actually made a completely separate video on that goes in much more depth with this, but it is on the map Estate. Now, keep in mind, what Estate is Makarov's safe house. And in Makarov's safe house, we just so happen to find a bunch of plans from the original Modern Warfare 2019. We can see Captain Price, we can see Piccadilly Circus, which tells us that Makarov has been involved the entire time with the events going on. Again, if you want to see much more detail about this one and how it ties into the story, I have a video, it'll be linked down in the description. Another thing that you may have noticed is that when you come into one of the 6v6 maps, in other words, the maps that were brought back from Modern Warfare 2, you start the game in black and white, maybe saying that these events take place in the past or these are old maps. But if you go in and load into one of the new maps, aka the Ground War maps, you may notice that they load in completely full color. And this could indicate that the events on these maps actually take place in present day. Also, we know that the Ground War maps take place in Urzikstan, which is going to be where the events of Warzone actually take place moving forward. Now the next one, honestly, this one you've probably already seen, or if you played the original Modern Warfare 2, you already know about, and that is of course getting on the roof of High Rise. To do this, you have to do a little hippity hopping, and to do so, you have to tack sprint and then jump onto the ladder that you're seeing here. Once you climb all the way up, you make your way around the outside of the building, just walking along the kind of outer edge, and then you get to a point where you can go up this diagonal and then you can jump onto the roof. Now, once you are on the roof, there are teddy bears everywhere. Now, this is the same Easter egg that existed on the original Modern Warfare 2. If you didn't know the backstory of the teddy bear Easter egg, essentially, one of the developers had a child who passed away during the development of the game, and one of their favorite things was indeed a teddy bear. So he was a map designer and started putting the teddy bears scattered throughout the maps as an homage to their child that passed away. It's a sad Easter egg, but one that's been carried forward game after game after game. It's heartwarming, you love to see it, and once again, it returns in Modern Warfare 3. Now, the one thing that you may have noticed is that the teddy bears that we saw on the roof there were different than the Infinity Ward ones. The Infinity Ward ones have kind of a star on the chest, whereas the Sledgehammer ones were different, and they kind of carried on that Easter egg in their own way. However, if we go to a different map, specifically Favela, we can find a crossover between the two. If you go into this one building that is kind of designed as a children's bedroom, you can actually see both teddy bears. You can see the original one from Infinity Ward with the star on the chest, and then by the couch, you can see a little area where you have both the Sledgehammer teddy bear and the Infinity Ward one. And I thought this was a pretty cool addition to the game. Now, moving into some more gameplay-oriented things, this is probably my favorite on the list, and it has to do with the Juggernaut. Now, this is, of course, one of the streaks that is in the game. You can use the riot shield, you can use the shotgun with it, and it's pretty deadly. You have a lot of health with it, and you'd think that would be the only way to use it. Run around, kill people with the shotgun, move on. However, Lego Unlocked, a YouTuber who will have his channel linked down in the description, found a much cooler way to get kills with the Juggernaut.
Taking effective fire. Taking effective fire. Sensor secure. We're taking charge.
That is right, you didn't see that wrong. Apparently, you can Hulk smash with the Juggernaut suit if you fall from far enough of a height, which is a really cool interaction. Didn't expect this one. So out of any of them on the list, this is probably the one that you've seen or at least experienced in game, and that has to do with flashbangs and the way that they work in game. The way that they work is in this game, compared to any other Call of Duty, it's not about your proximity to the flash grenade. It's about whether or not you are looking at it. So if you throw a flashbang and you're staring right at it, you are going to be stunned for much longer than, say, for example, if you throw it and look 90 degrees to the right and you're not staring directly at it, it's going to stun you for less. And then if you do a 180 and look the completely opposite direction of the flash, it will actually not stun you at all. This has never before been done in a Call of Duty game, so it is brand new. So if you see someone throw a flash, just look the other way. So the next thing that we have is a certain way that the loadouts work. And you may have just looked over this one, but each of the vests says that they do an individual thing. So for example, the engineer vest, it allows you to spot enemy equipment, field upgrades, and kill streaks through walls, aiming down sights at them, highlights them for your team, and faster field upgrade recharge. However, that's not all it does. If you have a look down at your class, it actually removes lethal grenades from your class, giving you an extra tactical grenade, but also allows you to have an extra piece of gear, which makes the engineer vest, in my opinion, one of the best vests in the game. Yes, I don't love that you can just spot field upgrades and kill streaks, but being able to have Ghost and Bone Conductor, for example, at the same time is incredibly, incredibly powerful. Another example, and another thing you may not have noticed, is the Gunner vest. If you equip the Gunner vest, this one actually allows you to have two primary weapons, allowing you to, say, have a assault rifle and a sniper rifle at the same time on your class. However, this one makes it so that you don't get to use boots whatsoever. In other words, if you're using this for search and destroy to have a sniper rifle and, say, an SMG, you can't have dead silence at the same time, which is an interesting way of balancing overkill and something we've never seen before. Also, another thing to mention, it does not say this whatsoever in the description of the Gunner vest. However, when we look at the Demolition vest, this one allows you to have an extra lethal grenade. The next thing that we have, and you just may not have had a chance to use this yet, is conversion kits. So when you go to the gunsmith, there's two weapons that currently have conversion kits. The Renetti, which allows you to get the Jack Ferocity carbine kit once you level up your weapon all the way to the max level. Essentially, this turns your burst fire Renetti into a fully automatic SMG, which allows for tactical stance, the bullet velocity and range is increased, and the idle sway is decreased as well. However, you have a slower sprint to fire speed, aim down sight speed, recoil control, and as far as this weapon goes, it completely changes it. It basically takes a pistol and turns it into an SMG, completely changing the way that you would play with this thing. But it's not the only weapon to have this. The second one that we have is the 7.62. Now, its conversion kit doesn't change up the weapon quite as much. However, it improves its mobility and handling, rate of fire, which is a big bonus, and your hip fire and tac stance spread. Now, the downside to this is it has worse recoil control and bullet velocity and range. However, I have seen people use this and just fire from the tac stance, and it does good over range. And with that improved rate of fire and way better mobility and handling, in my opinion, it is the best way to use this weapon. But not only that, once you have the right attachments on this thing and reduce the recoil a little bit, this is honestly one of the most fun weapons in the game to use, at least in my opinion. And if you didn't get a chance to try this thing out, once the game is fully released, these conversion kits are going to absolutely be something you want to give a try because, like I said, they completely change up the weapon. And in this case, it makes it way better than the base version of the weapon, at least in my opinion. And on top of that, they're just really fun to use. The final thing that I wanted to show you guys in this video is something you probably didn't get to try within the beta because it wasn't really something that I thought about, but there is a lethal grenade within the game called the Breacher drone. And essentially what it is a grenade that you attach to a little drone and it flies in a straight line across the map. But sometimes it may miss your target. But what you didn't know is you can actually shoot these things in the air, causing them to explode. And where I found this most effective is an area like Rust, where someone is camping in the middle of the map on top of things. You can actually throw it over top of them, shoot it in the air, and it will actually kill them. This is something that after I tested it out, I found myself trying to do in games when people were hiding in certain spots. So I didn't know that this interaction was actually available, but once I did, it was actually relatively useful. So ladies and gentlemen, those are the 10 things that you probably missed within the beta. If you knew about some of them, let me know. If you found any extra teddy bears on some of the maps, apparently they're on all of them, but I only found the ones that I showed you here. So if you found any extra ones, let me know what you found down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, always appreciate it if you hit that like button. And if you did, hitting that like button shows me that you want to see more videos like this once the game is actually out. And of course, if you want to stay up to date on everything Call of Duty, make sure you subscribe, turn notifications on, all of that jazz. But as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And until next time, peace out.